Hi everybody, I'm Natalie with Missouri Star Quilt Company, and today I'm here with Heather Bailey from Figo Fabrics. Heather has been designing fabric for 19 years in the industry, and I have always been a huge fan, so this is just like the best day ever for me. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
So Heather designed this quilt for us using her fabric, and it is just beautiful. I think it's super fun, and I would love to know more about like your design process for how you come up with your fabrics, how you choose colors, even, how you pick names for things, or what inspires you.
Well, I really like every collection to have a little bit of something unexpected.
Okay.
Where if you walked into the store and you see the collection, you know it's a Heather Bailey collection, but you don't know yet what you're going to find. Like there's something new and fun and unique about each collection. So with this specific collection, Wild Abandon, the idea behind it was this universal experience that we've all had worldwide the last few years, having been somewhat cooped up.
Yeah, a little bit isolated and just kind of like...
I feel like there's this resurgence of creativity and a resurgence of joy that followed that worldwide experience. And this collection is meant as a celebration of that. This like call to pursue your passions and create, which is partly why I named it Wild Abandon.
I love that.
It's just like toss the rules aside and be free to create.
Yeah, just go for it. Shake off all the shackles and follow your dreams, right?
Yeah, so that was the spirit behind it. And then as far as the artwork goes, I wanted to create fabrics that had an overgrown, lush, kind of wild, unkempt feeling to them. So the florals you'll notice are meandering and tangled to some degree.
Right, like a secret garden.
Yes,
or something that's
exactly.
just kind of like taken time to do what it wants.
Yes, like a secret garden. So it's that feeling of being cooped up and kept in, then set free out into the world of creativity, and
Nice.
out there things have become overgrown. But it's yours for the picking.
I
You
love
can
that.
pick the flowers and bring the beauty back inside. So that was the spirit with which I designed this specific collection.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, I'm super excited to use it, and I'm excited to teach how this quilt is made, so let's get started. All right, so this quilt is made using yardage, and so we've assigned a letter to each fabric, kind of like we do in our block of the months, but it's super easy to read through the fabric list in the pattern. But I'm going to point them out to you here. So this is our fabrics A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. And so for each one, you're going to need 3/4 of a yard of fabric A, 1 1/4 yards of fabric B, 1/4 yard of fabric C, 1/4 yard of fabric D, 1 1/2 yards of fabric E, 1 1/8 yards of fabric F, 1 1/2 yards of fabric G, and 1 1/3 yard of fabric H. So for our borders, this fabric H includes your border for your inner border fabric. And then your outer border, you're going to need 1 1/8 yards of this. And this is like a little cornerstone. You'll see them up in the top corners or in the corners of the quilt. You'll need 1/4 yard of that. And then your binding is this beautiful pink florally, I don't even know what to call it. It's so cute. 2/3 of a yard for your binding. All right, so let's get into making this quilt. So it is so fun. It's got 2 blocks. We have our star block here, and then like a square in a square, or a peacock in a square. It's so cute. All right, so I think we can start with our star block, and then we'll just go from there, if that sounds good.
Sounds fantastic.
All right, we'll just set that guy right there. Scoot this out of the way. So we're going to start by taking our fabric A and cutting 8.5 inch squares for the center of the star block. So let's line them up.
While you're doing that, I could tell you a little bit about the print.
Okay, cool. I'd love to hear that.
So with this particular print, I wanted to create a sense of what if cobwebs were lace.
Oh,
right?
that is
so what
so
if the
cool.
forgotten hidden corners of things were intentionally beautiful.
Yeah.
So the idea was this, again, that overgrown feeling, but I wanted it to feel like it was an organic lace that was happening in nature.
I love that. That is so cool. All right. So we just need 1. So I think I'll just do when you're cutting for your quilt, you'll cut several pieces, but I'm just going to cut one so we can make one block. And our fabric
And this is an 8.5 inch square.
8.5 inch square. Yep, that's right. Then we will need some pieces of fabric B, I think. Yep, we'll need 4.5 inch squares, and we need 8 of those.
I'm going to press it just for fun.
Oh, good. That's perfect. We're going to make the entire block.
I find if the fabrics are pressed, sometimes the piecing goes together more accurately.
It really does. No, it definitely does. All right. So we've got that cut.
So
and
we need
then
8
our
of
next
these.
piece, yeah, I think did I do 8 or did I do?
Oh, I didn't count them.
1, 2, yeah.
For my own sake, I'm
there's
just making
8
sure
there.
I've grasped
Yep.
it.
Nope, you're absolutely right. Okay. We're going to need 4.5 inch squares for our outer corners, and then we need 4.5 by 8.5 inch strips. And these are already cut. We got a little aggressive in our prep and cut them all up and don't have a piece of fabric. So they're pre-cut because we did the work ahead of time.
So imagine the excitement of cutting them all.
Pretend
on
you're
camera.
cutting a 4.5 or 8.5 inch strip and then cutting it crosswise to get all of your pieces.
And 4 of those.
So those are ready. And then this
think those need
piece,
to be
we need a
pressed.
little 4.5 inch strip so that we can have 4.5 inch squares.
You're doing all the work.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for. It's all good stuff.
What's your favorite kind of quilt to make?
Me?
Yeah, do you have a favorite?
I really love any quilt that has stars in it, honestly. I love stars. They're just, I think they're pretty. And I love, I don't know, I love a lot of different things. So I like scrappy quilts, but I also love quilts that play with color and give you like the effect of something that isn't, it like tricks your brain, you know? So you see like gradient effects or like things that look kind of 3D or like where you can't really tell where the block starts and stops. I think that's very cool.
Oh, right. So those ones that look like a color wash, almost like running from one corner to the other.
Yep. I also love pixelated quilts. I think that's just amazing. But really, I mean,
those.
I'm a huge fan of quilting, so all of it is great.
That's fun.
I think I'm going to need this for another part, so I'm going to leave that out. So now we're on to starting to piece. We've got all of our pieces cut. The first thing we need to do is take our 4.5 by 8.5 inch rectangles, and we are going to place those squares on the corner and create a flying geese block. So for this, if you're when you're stitching on the back, you can decide if you want to draw a line or press a line, but you're sewing on the line corner to corner on both sides. So we'll do one side, then we'll trim them and press them, and then we'll do the other sides, and they'll all be ready to go. So do you want to go ahead and draw lines on the back for me of
And this is for our stitching line.
all of them? Yep, draw me a stitch line.
Okay, hand me the drawing tool.
This one has a little bit of selvage, but I think I will be able to catch that in the top.
Yes.
So let me give
Especially
you
if you do it.
a pen.
No, it doesn't matter.
Either way, yeah, either way, it'll be on the other side. So you can use that, or is this one easier?
I'll just, do you want this one?
No.
This is good.
Okay. All right, I'll start with one that is, because you can also use your diagonal seam tape, you know, whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to get started on these.
Ooh, I got to stay ahead of you.
Oh, you're fine. All right.
Okay, you were right. ruler. It's almost like you've done this before.
Lots of lines, lots of stitching, all the good stuff.
This one I got my line a little funny.
That's all right. I'll still go corner to corner.
I'm going to draw little marks to the one not to stitch to.
Okay. All right, so these now, we're going to go ahead and trim and press. We're going to assembly style this quilt. It'll be done so fast. All right, I'm ready to trim this baby. And then I will let you trim and press them all while I stitch the rest of them. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Put me to work.
Press that one, and then I'll grab these guys and we'll go from there. I think this little one needs he got a little out of control. I'm going to trim this square because I feel like it might be a little funky. Nope, it's not. It's perfect. Okay, it was just my brain telling me something was wrong and it looks fine. All right, do you want to go ahead and
trim and press?
Trim these, yes. And then I will continue. We're going to put the other side on, going in the opposite direction and stitching on the line just as we did before. Make sure you've got that going the right way. Almost messed it up.
Oh, okay.
Not you, me. I was going to stitch it on going the opposite direction and have my star legs turn into a diamond instead. I just set it on that being wrong.
Uh-oh, you're waiting for me.
That's okay.
Shoot.
You're fine.
All right.
Just need them pressed and then ready to go. Awesome. All right, I'll give you these. You just keep on going. Guys, this block is so quick and easy. We are like just about ready to put the whole thing together. This is the piecing. This is the hard part, and the rest is just easy breezy. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take, this is our center, and we are going to start lining up our legs all the way around. And we've got our little 4.5 of this background fabric that's just a little solid. We used fig tree cream from Moda. And that's it. That's our whole block, guys. And you'll notice, you set these aside so carefully. So if you wanted to, you could stitch a 1/2 inch away and use these little half square triangles for something else. Like we do sometimes. That's always fun. Or they can go in your crumb bin or whatever. But yeah, we can go ahead and stitch this together. And I don't know, do you go like left to right or top to bottom when you sew a block together?
I tend to go like I'm reading. You do the top, do the middle, and do the
bottom. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to take this one and put it together, and then we'll go from there, and this block will be all done. Super fast. I'll give it back to you for pressing. And you can decide, you know, sometimes when I'm doing these, I will press my seams in certain directions so that I can nest the seams where they match up.
I do that too.
So that is...
Let's see if I can figure that out on the
I'll let you decide which way to press them. So there's that one.
Okay, it's just a plain square, so we're good.
Yeah, they're all, it's
it's beginner friendly.
definitely.
Oh, I'm so used to setting my iron up.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky to get used to those alisos.
I love them though.
They get nice and hot. That's one of my favorite things.
I like an iron that can put out steam.
Okay.
Not all of them can do a good job with that, and these do
no.
a fantastic job.
All right, there's that piece. It's attached. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch the top to the middle, and then we'll add the bottom, and we will be all done with this block. So, how many times do we make this one block?
9.
9
9
blocks. 9 times.
That's a movie quote.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm always quoting
I probably didn't
movies,
do it well
but
enough.
I don't.
I'll do it again. 9 times. It's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, I'm not catching the reference. I feel so dumb right now. No, we're always quoting some movie. Ferris Bueller is a good one. We watched that a ton when I was growing up.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Well,
Good job.
thanks.
I love the contrast in the different textures. You've got like a polka dotty pattern and a more flowing movement, and then there's the interplay between the more pinky, rich purples and the tangerine color. And
Yeah, I love that.
I know I did the color, but I still love seeing it in block form.
Yep.
You know, because when I design a collection, I have quilting in mind, you know, but I can't exactly make the quilts until the fabric arrives.
Right.
So this is actually my first quilt with the collection because it's
Oh, that's
new.
so fun.
Yeah, it's fun for me.
Yeah, it's really cool to see it all come together. So,
Right, we're almost there.
yep, we're really close now.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I got to iron both sides. You were fast.
Lightning. And only half as fast as my mom.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's like, get her done.
No, yeah, nope. I cannot keep up with her. She is the speediest stitcher, the quickest quilt maker.
I'm obviously a super speedy ironer.
Hey, you're doing a great job. So this is it. This is the block. We got to make 9 of them. And now we're going to go ahead and make the next one, which is our peacock in a square, as we're affectionately calling it. So to start that one, we need a 6 1/4 inch block for our middle. So we'll grab this one. Now, do you want to talk about like fussy cutting? Because we kind of have a piece that we may or may not be able to get it just right.
Okay, so in general, when I design fabric, I make sure that if there is a larger scale design on it, I'm very intentional that you don't need to feature any particular part of the print for it to have oomph as a fabric.
Maximum impact.
Very deliberate about that. So
Okay.
you could be cutting this center block where parts of the tail are poking in or whatnot.
Right, and it's
you,
still going to look really cool.
exactly. It has all the right rhythm and the colors are dispersed throughout the fabric. So
Okay.
it is an option if you have yardage to cut the block with featuring a peacock, like his
Okay.
face,
Now
but
we
it's
have
really
a,
not
we have a
important.
fat quarter here that I think I'm going to go ahead and
Oh,
pull
that's
so
a
we
great
can
idea.
so we can get our peacock fussy cut properly.
We can show them the option.
Yeah, I thought that would be kind of cool.
That's a good idea.
All right.
But it's not necessary.
Right. You can if you want to. You don't have to.
Yeah. And you could have your peacocks facing toward each other if you want to put them centered.
Yeah.
Or away, or all in one direction, or
right. We did
or,
a little
or running in
combination of
circles.
both on this one. So these two are like, we're going to go this way, and these two are like, we're going to hang out. Both options on this quilt. All right. So I'm going to grab the ruler from over here, and we will get it ready for fussy cutting. They need to be 6 1/4 square. So if we were lining it up, oh, I got to turn it. I always put that on going the wrong direction. And it's easier for me to see it. Just kind of center it up. But let's go ahead and press it before I cut, if that's all right.
Yep.
I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. I know there's probably ways that you can make sure everything is exact by, like, you know, stacking your fabrics, or I don't know,
The work to
folding
just
them a
press
certain
that.
way.
You get to
but-
just press that one spot.
Oh yeah,
All
that's
right.
perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got about the same amount. I'm kind of just trying to plop it right in the middle of this 6 1/2 or 6 1/4 inch square.
You could almost make it look nice in a 6-inch square, and then just
Uh-huh.
take a guess, sliding it slightly
Right,
to
just
the
a little
1/8
bit the
over.
other way. Yep. And then I'm just going to trim off that much. And then flip it, because that's the only way I know how to do it.
Probably the only safe way to do it.
And then we'll go into the quarter there. And if it's like if that's not right, then I still have time to kind of move it in if I wanted to, which maybe we should.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What do you think? Like,
At the same
go
time,
down
you
a
know, you
little
don't
bit
have
more.
to feature the peacock any
it doesn't.
particular
Oh
way.
no, for sure you could do however you want. I was just, for the sake of the video, I think I'm going to move it in a little bit, and then
Yeah, that looks great.
get the rest of this guy. Flip it back around and trim off that little excess, because I adjusted for centering. Does that look good?
I think
Or
it
do
looks
we
great.
need to go
I
a
think
little
as
bit-
long as you've got
a little bit more
the
like that.
comb of his hair, you know.
Oh yeah,
his
it's
hair,
within.
his
yeah,
feathers.
the comb is within the seam
mohawk.
allowance. Yep. All right, one more little trim, and for sure one more on this side, because I'm nitpicking a little bit. You've never seen me do this before.
Well, there's a peacock involved.
Yeah. And they are fancy, styling little devils. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to cut some 5-inch squares from our fabric, whatever. I don't remember the letter of it.
The large
But
floral
it's
fabric.
this floral that goes right here around the little peacock. These start out as 5-inch squares. They get cut once on the diagonal to make triangles. So that's what I'm going to do real quick.
This fabric is
Cut a
called
5-inch strip.
Wanderlust.
Ooh, I love that name. This is one of my favorite prints in the line. I love it in all of its colors too. Every colorway is pretty.
Thank you.
It's super fun. So you'll need 2 of these per block, 2 5-inch squares, and they're cut once on the diagonal to make our little setting triangles. All right, one more cut. And then, so when I do this, I typically will just like fold them in half so that I have a center point.
And finger press.
Finger press them, and I just do them all at the same time because I'm kind of not lazy, but like
Efficient.
I like a hack. Yeah.
Maybe it's the opposite of lazy.
Yes. And then we will do the same on this. So we have all of our little middles to line up. All right, so I will line up these little points that we finger pressed in, make a match, and stitch the sides first and then the top and bottom. can press. You can press if you like.
Wonderful.
I'm going to let you.
Wouldn't it be nice to have that at home?
Oh yeah, we talk about that all the time. It's so fun working with somebody and being like, oh, I don't even have to get up. It goes so fast. Alrighty. Okay, I'll let you press that. This block should measure 8.5 inches square. So we'll check it and square if needed. Let's see what we got. Oh, oh, it's a little big. All right, well, I'm gonna line this up and try to keep my seam allowance so that I can keep my points. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna. Oop. I'll turn it one more time. And get into that 8.5. I think I'm going to have to shave it off a little bit more on the other side. Sometimes my seam allowance is really tiny, and that doesn't always bode well. All right. So 8.5 for our middles, and that is our center. Looking good, Mr. Peacock. Okay, our next piece is this, the section that goes around here, and it is a flying geese. It's made exactly the same way as our star leg, but then they face the opposite direction. So we will cut some 4.5 by 8.5 inch rectangles for that. These ones are already ready to go. Just need to cut a couple more.
I'm gonna slide those out and press them.
Perfect.
For kicks.
You know, we're always doing stuff just for fun.
Yeah, it's not necessary to press as you go, but it does make a nice result.
Life easier, that's for sure. And this I'm just gonna go wild and run it off the edge.
Are you gonna go with wild abandon?
Wild abandon. Yeah, that's so good. And then we'll go this way, and then I'll grab the next fabric. There we go. I'll give those to you. And I think, yeah, so our next fabric is this piece, and we don't have very much of that left, so I'm going to grab the one from the fat quarter bundle as well, just for ease, just to make life easier. Okay, so we need, well, I'll use these for the 4.5 inch squares, and then I will use this one right for the, yeah, because we need 8 for our star legs, and then on our on the outer corners we need 5 inch squares. So I'm just going to fold these in half. Size. Yep, and get all of my 4.5 inch squares right out of that.
But you're going to have yardage.
Speed cutting, yes. And then you can start marking the diagonals on the back of these babies. And we'll run through that real quick.
We don't need anything marked on these.
Nope. So this is the same process that we did for our stars. And I'll just take one and get started using my diagonal seam tape. That stuff is kind of a lifesaver. It makes life very easy. You never really have to mark anything. And again, on all of these large triangles, there's quite a bit of leftover half square triangle on this other side. So if you wanted to stitch a line a 1/2 inch away from your drawn line, you could get an extra half square triangle just for some other project. But we could make a cute little
Should we do one of those to
pin cushion or something?
like
I
where
could.
the stitching line is?
Yeah, I
Just
could
to
do that.
show
You
her
just go a 1/2 inch away from your drawn line.
At this point while you're sewing it, right?
Yeah, so
Not
I would
after
just,
you've cut it
well, after you've cut it, you could just sew them back together.
with
Yeah.
1/4 inch seams.
Yep, that would work too. But yeah, if I'm gonna do, so I would just do this. I don't know if this is really a full 1/2 inch, but you really just need enough space to cut that apart. So there's one that's got a cut on it. Oh,
Haha, prepped you.
you were ready for me. All right. Now we're good to cut and press. We're going quick again.
This one's not ready.
Fast as we can. There you go.
And then these are the ones that were just cut.
Uh-huh.
And this one had the second stitching line. So it's all ready to go.
Yep.
And this is not
And
part of the block.
I would
It's
even
just
venture, like, technically, if I knew what I wanted to do with it, I'd square them up now and then work on that project another time, so
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that step.
And to be clear, this is not part of the block. This is
Right.
just a way
It's
you can
just
handle
like-
your scraps.
Yep. We just have a little bit of extra fabric left. It's a little less wasteful. Probably make a really cute baby quilt.
Oh yeah, you could just make them sparkle throughout it.
Be fun. I'll give you those two.
I prepped this one.
Perfect.
Don't
Thank
eat.
you. We're getting close now. All right, here's these.
I'll let you cut.
Okay.
This is fun. I think I'm gonna quilt with a friend.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is its own technique.
that's very cool.
Let me show you how to quilt with a friend.
It's fun. It really is. Alrighty. So we'll have those ready, and then we've got to make some half square triangles because this piece right here is a half square triangle, which is, it makes the block look so cool. One of the things that I love about this quilt is the optical illusion that these blocks are actually like this. Because you look at it and you think you're looking at this square straight on, but this part is actually part of the other block. And it's because, I think it's because of how this fabric is placed.
Yeah.
It really tricks the eye. It's one of my favorite things.
And then it creates a secondary star
Uh-huh.
as these fabrics radiate out from the peacock.
Yeah, I love that.
But
All right.
the block is actually here.
Yes, it's on point. It's super fun. And when you're looking at this, like I was looking at it, I'm like, did we get that cut straight? Because he's kind of tilted, but he's actually supposed to be. And then he stands up straight when we put him in the block.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we're going to make 4 half square triangles. And to do that, we need 4 5-inch squares. So the fabric is this fabric, and then we need a little bit of our
cream colored fabric, right?
this one with the flowers, which I think we just set aside earlier, so we'll grab it. It's somewhere.
We have some
I don't
pieces
think
here.
we have any 5-inch squares of it.
Oh, let's get it out of here. Does that work for you?
That works great.
This is why it's wise to have a stash.
Yes. All right. So let's we'll unfold this one and we'll line them up. And we'll do. You
want to talk about the elephant in the room?
Oh, yes. Tell me about the elephant in the room. I thought you'd never say anything. I'm like, this guy is so cute.
This is a pincushion pattern that I designed. It's called Effie and Ollie Elephant.
Oh, so you have like a little girl one, a little boy one, Effie and Ollie?
Yeah, Effie has flowers and Ollie does not.
Okay, okay.
But Ollie could wear flowers.
That is so
And Effie
cute.
could skip the flowers.
I have always loved your pin cushions.
Yeah, my favorite. I love to design pin cushions. I have all kinds of animals and fruits.
Yeah.
And
Do you have
things,
any new ones coming out this year?
I have.
Have you not
I am.
had a chance
I
to
don't know
work
that
on
I
it
should
in a
say. I
while?
am working on one, but I'm not sure if I
Okay.
should. I'm working on 2 of them, but
Nice.
I
That
don't
is
think
so
I'll say.
exciting.
They
Okay,
are
well,
both creatures.
we'll keep it a secret, but I'm so excited to see what they are. When did they release?
you.
Approximately
I don't
sometime
know.
later this year,
I
maybe?
work for myself. I set my own deadlines. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I see how that is.
Soon.
Okay, so will you draw a line on this one, and then what we're going to actually draw lines on both of them for me, and what we're going to do is stitch on both sides of the line so that we get 2 half square triangles from each set.
Okay, awesome. So that's that.
So I'll give you this. Just diagonally, corner to corner. Oh, were you looking at the print? and trying
I
to,
was
like,
looking
line
at
it up
the.
so
I
it
was
would look
looking at the
nice?
print. I was.
Classic. I love that. All right, I'm going to stitch on both sides.
One direction it would have cut the flowers in half, and the other it goes
It
in an
went
empty
right down the
space.
middle, just
Yeah.
right. That's perfect. I love it.
You caught me.
There's always thought that goes into these things. All right, so these can get cut apart and pressed, and then we will square them up to 4.5.
Make a plan. I'm making a plan for which way to press the seams.
Oh, okay. Cool. I love that.
Go outward. I'm pressing outward toward the floral print.
Okay.
My general rule is, if in doubt, press outward.
Press it out. If in doubt, press it out.
Yeah, that's
I
better.
like that.
If in doubt, press it out. Outward.
Upward. Okay. Let me grab, well,
Here are
we'll
those.
square with our 10-inch square today. So we've got 4.5-inch squares, and I am just gonna trim these right up. These are barely bigger, so you shouldn't have to square too much, but it makes a huge difference. I'm a big fan.
Barely bigger, meaning they're
Barely
almost
bigger,
accurate.
like they're almost at 4.5 inches. I just have little bits of fabric to kind of
Yeah.
shave off. And remember, when you're squaring with a regular square, you want to make sure that the 45-degree line lines up with your seam, and then you pop the corner into whatever the measurement is that you're going for. So we're looking at 4.5 here. I'm just making sure our seam line lines up with that 45-degree angle. We'll do these real quick, and then we can lay out our block and sew it up. This is the exciting part, where it all starts to come together. I feel like when you're squaring blocks, I always look at my stitching and I'm like, man, I am terrible at this. Because it just doesn't look straight, you know?
Are you talking about the way the center seam?
Yeah, like before it's squared, it just looks so wonky. But then after they're squared, it's like, oh, they're perfect. I'm not so bad after all.
I don't know that
so
it's just
funny.
stitching. It's because your seam line is on the bias.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah, it's
pulling
all,
it out
everybody's looks like that, I'm sure. But yeah, I like squaring up.
It makes a big difference in the accuracy of your quilting. It's worth it.
It really does. All right, so now we can go ahead and lay out our block. We'll start with our middle, and these guys go out like you're making another little diamond.
Can I cheat ahead?
Yes, no, do it, do it.
Can't resist.
Yeah, and then those go in, so it makes that full.
It's fun. It's an optical illusion, right?
Yeah.
Once they connect, these all visually connect.
Yep, that's very cool. It makes this block come together really easy.
Right.
All right, shall we sew it up?
And I think it's important to remember, if you want to feature something at this stage, it will feel like it's
little
diagonal.
bit crooked?
Well, it'll feel diagonal if you're featuring something upright,
Uh-huh.
because you're going to turn the block.
Right, because they're set on point in this quilt.
Yeah.
So that's a good tip to remember. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and put this together just as we did the last one. You're sewing our rows from top to bottom. And then I'll hand it off for pressing, and we'll be... Got to get it all lined up. There you go.
Okay. If in doubt, press it out. Word. No, that's not how I'm going to do it, though. I'm going to press these ones with the seams
To the
out,
middle?
and then in the middle row, I'll press them inward.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
What's the technical term for
For?
managing your seam allowances so that some go this way, some go that way, and when you line them up, you're able to line up your seam? Is that nesting your seams?
Yeah.
Is that the technical
Yep.
standard term? I don't know what it's called, they just do it.
Yeah. Well, it makes life a lot easier when things just naturally line up, but you can press it the way you want it to go, or you can force it and press it later. Sometimes.
I tend to line them up and even put a pin in there and then keep them pinned.
Yeah?
As I approach the pin, pull the pin out.
Nice.
But, you know, I don't know how necessary that is.
Well, everybody has different techniques for getting, kind of getting to the same point. So I feel like we all just do it a little bit different, and you've got to stick with what's comfortable and what really makes sense,
Mm-hmm. So on this one, I press these seams outward.
Okay.
On this one, I'm pressing these seams inward so that when they're stitched together, they sink right into
Create
each
a
other.
nice little nest for our little peacock friend.
I don't know how much this peacock's going to nurture his nest.
No?
No.
Doesn't this fabric have a funny name? What
It
did you call
does.
this peacock fabric?
So as I was designing it, I was thinking about how we associate peacocks with like beautiful, elegant florals.
Yeah.
And, those tend to be more feminine motifs.
Uh-huh.
And I was realizing, wait a minute, though, a peacock is a male bird. And anyway, I was just having my own little internal dialogue, and I was thinking about like the big show that the male peacock puts on, you know, to attract attention.
Yeah, they're totally showing off. They're like, look at me, everybody. I'm so pretty.
That's right. And the question is like, can they deliver what they're promising? And I named the print Rogues and Scoundrels.
Oh dear. Like the little dandies from the Victorian era.
Yeah,
all dressed up and looking pretty.
Yeah, and maybe up to no good.
That's probably true.
Anyway.
That's so funny. I love it. All right. I'll do that one, and I will stitch this guy down. I'm gonna nest all these seams because they're pressed perfectly. Thank you.
They're pressed adequately.
They're okay. They're really good. I mean, if you guys ever get a chance to have a Heather Bailey come and press your seams for you, I say do it. Highly recommend.
It's a no stress job.
Side's ready for me too, huh?
Yep, ready to go.
All right. Oh, I lost my points a little bit there. But that happens sometimes. We had a little bit of a tight seams with our squaring too, so you know, happens to everybody, right?
There's only 4 of these blocks.
Oh yeah.
You know, this quilt goes together really quickly.
It really does.
13 blocks?
Yep. It's very beginner friendly.
And then so much of the impact is the corner triangles of the floral fabric that's covering so much of the real estate of the quilt.
So
you get all this impact with only 13 blocks.
I love it, yeah. It goes together super fast. You want to go ahead and press it, and then we can show like kind of, I mean, we'll show where the blocks go and talk about our borders.
Maybe I should do it the opposite
Turned
direction.
out so cute.
I want to seam it.
Yeah.
How fully pressed do you want it at this point?
Oh, just
enough.
a quick press is good.
Just enough.
Yeah. You're good. All right. Well, that looks great. So this is our finished block. And they're so cute. So you make 4 of these and
9 of these.
All right, and 9 for a total of 13. These are 16 and a half unfinished blocks. So we're going to set them on point. So the little peacock blocks are going to go here in the middle, and then our star blocks are going to surround. And that means that that your setting triangles have 16 and a half unfinished edges, correct?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then it goes together in rows. So you start here and
so we have 1, 2,
this
3.
row, then this row, and so forth.
Yep. Yeah. So we have borders. We have a 2.5 inch and a 4.5 inch inner and outer border. And look at this backing. This fabric is so beautiful. So you'll need 7.5 yards for your backing. And the quilt ends up being 80 by 80, which I think is a great size. I think that could go well on like a twin bed or a wall or a picnic quilt. Like,
it's great on a wall.
It's
or
beautiful.
a lap blanket. Or when I was a kid, I had a convertible, and I sewed myself a quilt
to sit in the
to
back
match
of your
my
car.
convertible.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And it was in the trunk, but you know, if we ever drove anywhere and we're cold, we had a little
What
quilt.
kind of convertible did you have? I'm just curious.
Oh, it was a 1985 Chrysler LeBaron.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so-
That is so fun.
Anyway, it could be your convertible quilt.
There you go. Everybody needs a car quilt. So whether it's a convertible or not,
That's true.
I love to have a quilt in my car just for any, you know, maybe I just want to randomly sit down and have a picnic somewhere. So it works out. Okay, so we have a little surprise. We did a second quilt that's completely scrappy, and the information for that is included in this pattern. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, but I want to show you how cute this quilt came out. completely scrappy.
It's the same collection.
Isn't
This
that
is the
fun?
Wild
Yes,
Abandoned.
just using all different fabrics, and it looks so different, doesn't it? It's super cool. It almost looks like the stars are kind of medallion-ish.
Let's hold up the bottom too. You can see the fun, what'd you
Yeah.
call those, like coral colors?
Isn't it fun? Oh, and one thing I almost forgot. We have these cute little squares in the corners of the border. That's just a little 4.5-inch square that makes our borders look extra special.
Yeah, and
So
this
up
one,
here we used the little peacock fabric. Super fun, huh?
yeah. And then let's show the back.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure.
And
Okay.
this quilt ends up being the same. It's 80 by 80. It's, you know, all the things are the same, but the fabric requirements for the specific fabrics are included in the pattern, which is so fun. It's a
perfect.
bonus. I think it turned out really cute.
Okay.
All right, so we'll set this aside.
Like, we don't need to fold it.
Yeah, we're good, we're good. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today, Heather. It's been so great having you in town.
I have loved it. You've got to come to Hamilton.
It's a fun place to hang out. We have a lot of fun here. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the Daydream Quilt from Missouri Star Quilt Company. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it inspired your creativity. And guys, we're at almost 1 million quilters strong in our community. So if you know of anybody that you think might like to join us and learn quilting with us, bring them on in, put your arm around them, and tell them to subscribe to our channel so that we can all learn and grow together.